Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR, episode 261A. It's good to be with you guys. 260B, by the way, should have come out last week. I did it this week, this being Wednesday. I just did it right before. For those of you that might have skipped over it or didn't see it and wanted content from last week, what I've done, I answered a question. My friend Carla, who watches this, listens to this podcast. Most people listen. I assume you're listening. Uh, um, and watches Shoresy and follows me on Spittin' Chicklets. She's been a fan for a while. Carla in Ontario, I think Toronto, but I know you're in Ontario, and has followed me to some of these events and has gotten everything signed and buys the Blueberry Bulldog jerseys and is the biggest kind of fan. And I didn't realize was the same Carla that's sending messages via Twitter for questions that from fans that they want to hear on this show. So I'm not great at getting to all the questions. Of course, I don't get to all of them. I don't have anybody helping me out. And I get a million messages, it seems, a week, but definitely 1,000. I'm not joking. Across the platforms, I got to figure out a way. I have hired an assistant. So if you send me messages on like DMs on Instagram and I don't get back to them, or at this point, there's more coming in than I can answer. So if you're going to send for some reason Twitter, I don't ever fucking follow it or check it or anything, but I do check my messages. And sometimes it takes a while. I can't get back to everybody, but I try to answer listeners' questions as best I can. And Carla has been messaging me for a while. So episode 260B now up features just a simple question. I think it's 20 or 25 minutes. And we talked a little bit about classic rock. So if you're into that and you want to listen to what I think is the creepiest song ever, check it out. If you're not into classic rock or music and you just want to hear about hockey, then ignore. But anyway, it was for you, Carla. Thanks for listening. The first thing I'll say before I go any further is that a lot of you are asking for signed items and merchandise because I mentioned it. Well, go to terryryan.ca. Okay, you can book me for an event there. You can order shirts, hoodies, hats now soon, and books. So what I've done, and I go through Atlantic Music and Merch. They're a great local company. And I order some books to my house, whatever it is. And I sign them and I bring them out there. If you want them, just Terry Ryan, if you want them personalized or a shirt, I didn't really think about it till people started asking. A lot of people wanted a shirt signed by my dad, right? At if I buy the shirt, can your dad sign it? So yeah, and I think I've adjusted the website. I think for a few extra bucks because my dad and I will just have to drive out Elizabeth Avenue. Those of you local, I live in Mount Pearl. It's 10 or 15, 15-minute drive right through traffic. There's no way to get there without going through the bowels of St. John's. So I figure that's worth whatever it is. I think the books got a little bit of a markup, $10 or something, but it's all under. I think it's $34.99. All good. Like I said, I'll drop out. I'll personalize it. You want a shirt? We'll personalize it to whoever you want. They do make great gifts, and I know this sounds like a shameless promotion, but you're listening to my podcast, and a lot of people want to know, and merch are a part of all that. So I'm merely pointing you in the right direction. No one's getting rich off this stuff. I tried to make it affordable, and I like to get the word out there, to be honest. For me, the books and the merch and everything's a platform just to come to a town near you soon and raise some money or do an event or a speech or whatever. That's turning in to mostly, doing that and the cameo videos and things. Because we only shoot Shoresy for a couple of months, right? And then I get a cool role in a video game this summer and a couple of small things, but days on set generally, there's not a lot of them in a year, even if it is your main gig. So that's basically what I'm doing now. I'm traveling around and doing a lot of fundraisers and events. So anyway, I figured I'd say that and make it clear, because if you want something personalized, all you have to do is add a note. Atlantic Merch is right there. And because things were all over North America. When I had merch before, it would be ordered in, and I would try to guess how much I would need, and then I would, you'd order books from Toronto or Paradise, Newfoundland. I didn't have any place to book me for events, so now it's kind of all in one spot. And if any of those tangible things you want signed, like I said, I'll drop out and do it. Now, my guest this week will be Derek Roy. Fucking awesome. What a great guy. 4 fucking solid years. OHL's rookie of the year at 16 had like 80 fucking points, 30 odd goals at 16. And was a steady fucking point getter, man, in the 4 years in his last year. Won the OHL championship, then won the Memorial Cup, then was the MVP of the Memorial Cup, 32nd pick to overall to Buffalo, and goes to Buffalo and fucking lights it. I think his career high was 81 points and was constantly 60, 70, and finished with a tight little fucking awesome NHL career. Nearly 200 goals. He had over 500 points, and played for Canada multiple times, World Junior, World Championship. We'll get into all that. Really interesting guy. Met him along the travels. We played some NHL alumni teams. If we're doing it again in the fall, so again, check my Instagram posts, and we tend to do these 5 or 6 at a time. Last fall was awesome, and this fall we're going back to Detroit and Chicago. I believe we're adding and Toronto, and we're adding Nashville, and we're adding LA, and there might be another spot. Just follow along, but follow Shoresy Hockey as well on Instagram, and I'm sure on Twitter. I just don't go on Twitter much, but you'll be up to date. And if we're in a city near you guys soon, then by all means, there's VIP packages, which really aren't that expensive considering other packages of the same sort. Usually Dolo gives a show. I might get up and do a thing. The game itself is fun, but then the after party is always fun, and there's always an after party. So check it out. Really looking forward to that again. And anyway, and Derek was, so I met Derek at one of those, and then we did a couple of fundraisers since. One of them was just a couple of weeks ago in Calgary, the Gordie Howe Pro-Am fundraiser for cancer, and this was fucking wild, man. There was so many people there, and the weather was just getting nice in Calgary. Some of my buddies were there. I just love this time of year. Hockey playoffs are on, and you know, everything's blooming, and life is, and then things are coming alive. It's a great time. The opposite of the Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper, but you'll have to check out episode 260B for that. So a bunch of you try to answer readers' questions. A bunch of you. Here I'll go. I mean, I wrote down some names, but I'll say, so Stephen Coleman, you wanted me to answer this for a while as well. Stephen Coleman's been sending messages through. I've never gotten around to a question, buddy, and this is probably the 10th time, and I keep saying it. So you really wanted to know if I would give Sam Bennett the $10 million a year. That I don't even know if he's asking for it. People are saying that. Did he ever say it? But Stephen, what I do know is that you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. And although you didn't say should the Leafs sign him, you said, hey, TR, would you give Sam Bennett $10 million? Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that's the offer I'd start at, but if that's what it took, until recently, I wouldn't have said this. Sam Bennett gets what, 50 points? If he's lucky, right? Let's see. Let's just see Sam Bennett, because I know where you're going with it. People are going, it's insane, right? That Sam Bennett would ask for so much. Now, again, I don't know that he is. But if you're the Leafs, first of all, and who knows if they're going to move on from Marner, and whatever side you're on, Marner's a great player. Some people are saying he'll sign to some team that's desperate for him for 14, 15 million, like making him the highest in the league. I don't think that. I think that's insane. But I love watching Mitch Marner. I think the Leafs need a breakup, need something new, need a fresh face to come in for sure, but a fresh look. And just because of timing and that he's up for a contract, the most obvious would be probably Marner. But I do love watching him play, and I think he could definitely help a team to win. I don't think that he can't win. I just think the group that they have probably can't win together. So let's just say, hypothetically, you got Marner gone. Now, Marner makes more than 10, so you'd still free up some space, even if you sign Bennett for $10 million. Now, here we go. Bennett went 4th overall, so he's always been reliable. The things that you and I look and think are positive attributes, he's always had them. right? Fourth overall, 2014, 57 games, 91 points, 118 minutes, right? Same thing. Playoffs, 7 games, 9 points, 18 minutes. So he gets in Calgary Flames. So all those years in Calgary, I think people saw it as underachievement, right? Here we go, Calgary, 36 points, 26, 26, 27, decent amount of penalty minutes. I mean, he played like Sam Bennett, but until he went to Florida in 2020, 21, this being his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 5th season with them. He's gone, his point production has gone up a little bit, but not to the point of Marner. But here we go. 15 points in 10 games, then 49, 40, 41, and this year 51 points. 25 goals this year, 20 last year, 28 a few years ago, all with Florida. So with Florida, he's with Calgary for 6 years. So with Florida, he's clearly a different player than he was in Calgary. Same player, different offensive output, but still not a 100-point getter. 51, half the points that Mitch Marner gets. But in the playoffs, this season in 20 games, he has 14 goals, right? And 6 assists. Last year, 19 games, they win the cup, 7 goals, 7 assists. We all saw how fucking effective he was. A lot of what he does isn't statistical either. It's like running goalies and shit and causing havoc. The year before, 20 games, fucking 5 goals, 10 assists, 60 penalty minutes in the playoffs. This guy brings it. And if you're watching the NHL playoffs this year, you're watching him bring it. And you can't bring it like that for all the regular season games. You just can't do it. So now you got, do you want this proven playoff performer or do you want a proven regular season performer? What do you want? If you want the proven regular season performer, you definitely go for Marner. And I think at some point he's going to go off in the playoffs. I don't think it's with the Leafs, but I think Marner, Marner's a fucking point machine. So it's going to happen. You put him with the right player. Like put him on Florida right now. Do you think he's going to just suck? No. He's going to complement one of those lines, whichever line, because it's Mitch Marner. It's just the formula in Toronto isn't working right now, or I don't think it ever will with that combination. But if you out Marner and you bring in fucking Bennett, I'm serious too. People think I'm nuts. They do, including a lot of sports minds. And before the playoffs, I wouldn't have said it, but I'm watching every minute now because I'm reporting on it. I'm analyzing it on the Jason Greger show, Sports 1440 in Edmonton. Those who don't listen, check it out. It's a great show. We have awesome guests on, and I'm lucky enough to co-host twice a week. Sometimes I go on for one segment, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours. I've watched every fucking minute of the playoffs that I can anyway, and that's most. That's very the vast majority. And these teams, being Edmonton and Florida, I've watched the most. I'm convinced. Like he brings a different game. He plays like Sam Bennett, of course, in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's got a hate on. He steps it up. I don't know if you could get a better, more intense, all-around playoff performer. And I'm giving it. The cap's going up. I'm fucking giving it to him. Yes, I am. I'm giving it to him. If I'm the Maple Leafs, okay, I'm thinking he's going to sign back in Florida, man. They're going to give him something around that. It's Florida. And I just don't mean for the taxes and everything that it ends up to be the same money, because U.S. money in Canada, it's also, no one talks about that, right? Our Canadian dollar isn't worth what it is in the United States, but it's the same kind of living. So if you're making U.S. money, you also get more money if you're in Canada. No one fucking mentions that. I wish they would. So it's not the be all and end all money wise to go to the fucking Florida teams, or by extension a few more teams in the U.S. With lesser taxes. It's really not. You can, like I said, the money inflates when it turns to Canadian. But it's an awesome, desirable place for weather, for example. But that was the case for first 30 years of their existence. And, it's not like they were pulling off cups every year. They went, same thing in Tampa. They're both in the same state. Like they're decades have gone by that these teams aren't good. So I'm not buying all that. But I am buying that he's got those two things combined, and the fact that he's on a winner already with buddies that he goes to war with, and they're either going to win the Stanley Cup this year or lose in the final. Again, that's 3 appearances in a row. There's 32 fucking teams in the league. That's not easy to do, but they frequently do it. So I'm thinking he's going to sign in Florida. Now, I don't know about every other team, but Stephen Coleman, you asked me, and you're a Leafs fan. And if I'm the Toronto Maple Leafs, yeah, after all this bullshit and all this complaining about we don't have this kind of team or that time, bring in the best, one of the best, proven playoff players in his fucking prime. I guess a year or two removed, but whatever. Bennett was first rounder in 14. Yeah, he's still in his late 20s. I would. That's it. What are you going for here? How many more years has Austin Matthews signed? Whatever. Rogers fucking Sports and Entertainment, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, whatever it is. They got a fucking sack of money. Unlimited. And the cap's going up. And that's, ask yourself, would you replace right now, given the dynamic, Marner with Bennett? I think most people would. And you're actually saving money. So whether you think Bennett himself is worth 10 or not, I don't know. To me, it's worth 10 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes. And I'm looking at him in the playoffs. It's a different fucking player. And too many times over the years have I, as a fan, second-guess players like that, and I shouldn't. They just can't bring it for 82 games in the regular season like that. They just can't. Ask Eric Lindros how that goes, man. I mean, it's hard on the body. Anybody I'm talking to in any level of hockey, if you play like that, think about it. Just think about it. If you're in junior A, what's your schedule? 62 games, 64? And that seems like a lot to play like that for all those games. Add 20 onto it. Then you got exhibition, then the playoffs. These guys are playing their like 110th game, man. It's too much. You can't fucking play like Sam Bennett for all those goddamn games. You can't do it. But you can do it if you fucking go about the regular season and you know, you give it and you pick your spots, work hard, work smart, and then you get to the playoffs and you go like a bat out of hell, like Sam fucking Bennett. Bull in a china shop. Knock everything the fuck over. I'm coming. And hell's coming with me. And my fucking team, the Florida Panthers or the Toronto Maple Leafs, whoever the fuck stands behind Sam Bennett. So, yes, I would give him $10 million a year if I was the Toronto Maple Leafs for a fucking joke. I'd give him 10.2 just to solidify it. Fuck it. Folks, if you're downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador, why wouldn't you check out George Street? And if you're going to do that, why not check out Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, the Martini Bar, Green Sleeves, of course, the Bull and Barrel, if you're going to go for a bite to eat. Loose Tie, Blue, On, Water, Wedgwood Cafe. We also do catering. You want to work out, strength and balance for the body and mind is just around the corner. It's at Rope Walk Lane. It's at Ryan Power Conditioning. Strength, balance, body, mind. Check it out. You want to go to Mr. Lube, there's 2 locations in Newfoundland and Labrador, or it's St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, that is. One's on Torbay Road, one's on Kemart Road. Live, laugh, loop. Crown Cabinets. Check out Crown Cabinets. You'd be stupid not to. Carpet Factory. Laying the carpet for your community. GS Construction, laying the groundwork for your community out in Edmonton, Alberta. True Hockey, take what's yours. And Muggsy Jeans, I loves me motherfucking Muggsy Jeans. They're so comfortable, they're so stretchy. Folks, I'll be back in just a couple of hours, really. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail with Derek Roy and more. Thanks for listening to Tales with TR. Catch you guys on the rebound.